Okay, so let's dive right in. There's this core tension that I think haunts pretty much anyone who's ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
It's that fight between believing skill dictates everything,
Yeah.
and then the inescapable reality of just pure randomness.
That's it, exactly.
You look at these titans of industry and you just see genius. But our sources argue that view.
Yeah.
It kind of hides the granular mechanics of fortune
Mm-hmm.
and, of course, failure.
Right. It is really to give you a shortcut to understanding that. Luck and risk. They're not just ideas. Our sources call them functional siblings.
Functional siblings, what does that mean in practice?
It means they're two sides of the same coin. They govern outcomes in a way that's often, completely decoupled from how good your decisions were.
So you can be brilliant and fail.
Or a total amateur and succeed. The leader's job isn't to stop the randomness. It's to build a system that can navigate the chaos.
Which brings us to that central relationship you mentioned, the story of Bill Gates and Ken Evans. I mean, it illustrates this perfectly.
It's the perfect case study for what we'd call environmental luck. So you go back to 1968. The critical thing for Gates wasn't just that he was smart.
No.
It was a very specific, almost random intervention. The Lakeside School Mothers Club raised, what was it, $3,000?
Just $3,000, yeah.
Yeah.
To lease a teletype terminal.
And you have to realize how insane that was. The chance of any high schooler on Earth having access to that machine at that time, it was less than 1 in a million.
Basically zero.
And Gates himself admits it. He says without that one specific thing, the skills that built Microsoft, they just wouldn't be there. That's luck. Pure and simple.
And then you have the other side of that statistical coin, Kent Evans.
His best friend.
His intellectual equal.
Mm-hmm.
They were partners, dreaming up the future together.
Mm-hmm.
But while Gates hit the environmental lottery, Evans got the exact opposite.
He experienced the extreme negative outlier. He died in a mountaineering accident before he even graduated high school.
It's a tragic story.
It's heartbreaking, but it's so illustrative. They were equals. One was propelled forward by an extreme positive event, and the other was just removed by an extreme negative one.
So that raises the big question for anyone listening, for any leader. How do you manage your own emotional reaction to that kind of randomness?
This is where we bring in what our sources call the Scott-Galloway axiom.
Oh.
It's simple. Nothing is ever as good or as bad as it seems.
Okay, but doesn't building that emotional distance, doesn't that just feel like an excuse? Or maybe like being complacent when you fail? How does that help you make better decisions?
It's critical because it prevents something called action bias.
Action bias.
Yeah, that desperate need to just do something in a crisis, even if it's the wrong thing. Maintaining that distance. It gives you room to think. And it's counterintuitive, but success is actually a lousy teacher.
Because it creates hubris.
Exactly. It makes you think you can't lose. Failure, on the other hand, that's where you learn. That's where you can really reevaluate your systems.
And I suppose the biggest danger here is what the sources call self-attribution bias. You know, I'm a genius when I win, but the world was against me when I lose.
Precisely. So since we can't control these forces, the leader's job has to shift. It becomes about maximizing your room for error.
The margin of safety, MOS.
Yes, the MOS. And this isn't just a theory. It's a literal operational cushion that lets your organization absorb huge shocks, a pandemic, a market crash, without getting wiped out.
So practically, if I'm running a startup, the recommendation is what, a 30% MOS? How do I even apply that?
It means you build in reserves, you hold more cash than you think you need, you have redundant systems, you carry less debt. It's about prioritizing survival, durability, over just maximizing every last drop of short-term profit.
And if the outcome is truly random, then you have to stop judging performance on the outcome itself.
You have to. You pivot entirely to judging the quality of the process.
The input is the only thing we actually control, not the output.
Exactly. You have to reward the high-quality system even if the result is poor that week. So, for instance, a process goal would be conduct 50 high-quality outreach calls. That is 100% in your control.
As opposed to an outcome goal like close 100,000 in new deals.
Right, which depends so much on market timing, luck, everything else. Reward the disciplined process. Always.
So to wrap this up for you, the listener, we've basically landed on 3 pillars for resilience. First, a humble acknowledgement of these external forces.
Check your ego.
Second, build that structural cushion, the margin of safety. And third, become obsessive about your process over your outcome.
And if I can leave you with one final thought, the most powerful engine in business and wealth creation is compounding. But compounding has one weakness. It only works if you can avoid what's called ruinous risk.
The one event that ends the game.
The one event that takes you off the board entirely. So the single highest level skill you can develop as a leader or an investor isn't chasing the absolute highest return. It's protecting your ability to keep playing. Your ultimate strategy is just to stay in the game.